Today, we're strapping in for what might be the fastest, the most technologically intense 2-hour round of golf you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
We are analyzing the TGL, the TMRW Golf League.
Which just, burst onto the scene in 2025.
And it was co-founded by Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, so, right away it has that star power.
Oh, absolutely. But it's also got this this official backing from the PGA Tour. It's a full partnership.
Which is huge, and it's really professional golf's first major dive into high-tech, indoor, primetime team competition.
And it's not just a new league, is it?
Yeah.
It's a radical proposition.
How so?
Well, it's basically asking, can we take this ancient, unpredictable game of golf,
Right.
and can we engineer it into a reliable 2-hour entertainment product?
A product. That's the key word.
Exactly. So we've sifted through, the architectural plan, the financial blueprints, the rule changes, all of it, to really bring you the full story of that inaugural season.
So our mission today is to properly unpack this revolutionary model. We need to get into the league's foundation, just the shocking amount of financial firepower that got this thing off the ground.
And then the venue itself, the SoFi Center, it's one of a kind.
We have to talk about that. And most importantly, how the successful completion of the 2025 season really established this vital proof of concept.
And that proof of concept, it's tied directly to the promise TGL makes to its media partners, to its audience.
Which is?
Well, they're strategically contrasting the long, temporal commitment of traditional 72-hole stroke play.
Which can take 4 or 5 hours a day, 4 days a week.
Right. And they're contrasting that with this short-form, intense 2-hour team competition.
It's that consistent primetime deliverable. That's the asset.
That is the league's most valuable asset in the modern media landscape. It guarantees consistency where, traditional golf just can't.
Guaranteed consistency in a sport that's literally defined by uncontrollable variables.
Exactly.
That is the central tension we're going to be exploring today. That's it.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Let's unpack the visionaries who put this whole project in motion.
Sounds good.
Everyone knows Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are the faces of TGL, but this was all formalized by a core power trio that launched TMRW Sports. Who else was critical here?
Right. So the foundational venture is TMRW Sports, which was formally set up on August 24th, 2022.
Okay.
And while Woods and McIlroy, they obviously provided the star power, the third crucial partner was the veteran sports executive, Mike McCarley.
McCarley. His background is in media, right? Sports broadcasting.
Deep background. He provided the executive architecture, really, to turn the vision of Woods and McIlroy into a viable, televised product.
So you get that blend, you've got the iconic athlete endorsement, but also the corporate structure to make it real.
And that gave the venture immediate high-level credibility from day one.
But I think the truly indispensable piece of the puzzle here isn't just the names, it's that institutional seal of approval.
You mean the PGA Tour? The sources are so clear on this. This is not a rival. It's not a breakaway league. TGL is in a formal partnership with the PGA Tour.
And that partnership is, you could argue, the single most important strategic advantage TGL has.
Why do you say that?
Think of it as institutional legitimacy combined with a competitive shield.
A shield against who?
Well, against rivals. By aligning formally with the PGA Tour, TGL gets preferential access to the absolute top tier of roster talent.
Players who are already committed to the tour.
Exactly. And in the context of the highly fragmented golf ecosystem we see all day, this partnership just minimizes the risk of talent drain.
And it positions TGL as more of an extension of traditional high-level pro golf, not a competitor to it.
That's it. It frames their intent perfectly.
I think McCarley even spoke about blending golf's, 600-year history with advanced technology on a grand stage.
Yeah, that was the phrase. They weren't trying to create some, niche video game league.
No.
They wanted a fresh, short-form version of golf in an unmatched Coliseum environment.
That is a very, very high bar for a simulator league.
It is, and honestly, only the combined brand equity of Woods and McIlroy paired with the PGA Tour could make that claim sound credible.
It must have been essential for them to, validate all the technological and format risks to potential investors.
Of course. They had to assure the market that this short-form product would be treated as serious, championship-caliber golf.
Even though it's indoors.
Yeah.
And uses all this hybrid tech.
Right. It's a very calculated move to modernize the delivery system without, sacrificing the perceived integrity of the sport itself.
Okay, so a project of this scale, custom-built venues, complex tech,
Oh.
it requires just staggering financial backing.
Oh, yeah.
TGL didn't just rely on a single central investor. They adopted a team franchise model, right?
Yeah.
Mimicking the big North American sports leagues.
They did, and the list of owners it's a financial and cultural phenomenon in itself.
It signals that this league is seen not just as a startup golf venture, but as a premium sports asset.
Totally. Like an NBA or an NFL franchise, the financial stability and the brand equity that these high-profile owners bring is just immense.
So let's run through some of them. Let's start with the immediate star power associated with the Los Angeles Golf Club.
LAGC. Co-owned by Alexis Ohanian, the co-founder of Reddit,
Okay.
alongside global cultural icons Serena Williams and Venus Williams.
Wow. So right there, you've connected sports royalty and Silicon Valley wealth.
Instantly. Then you have Boston Common Golf, which is managed by Fenway Sports Group.
The people behind the Boston Red Sox and Liverpool FC.
The institutional powerhouses, they bring vast experience in running successful, large-scale sports enterprises and, connecting with those regional fan bases.
And the high-stakes investment continues right into New York.
It does. New York Golf Club is helmed by Stephen Cohen,
The owner of the New York Mets, a massive figure in finance.
Exactly. These are ownership groups that aren't just looking for a return on investment. They're looking for high-status, scalable investments in major market sports.
Then there's Jupiter Links Golf Club.
Co-owned by TGR Ventures, that's Tiger Woods' own investment vehicle, and David Blitzer, who's involved with a bunch of sports properties like the Philadelphia 76ers.
The Bay Golf Club also pulled in some huge local names.
They really did. Co-owned by Mark Lasry's Avenue Sports Fund, and of course, NBA superstar Stephen Curry.
Curry provides that perfect local Bay Area connection
Yeah.
and that generational appeal.
And then finally, you have Atlanta Drive GC, owned by Arthur M. Blank,
Co-founder of Home Depot and owner of the Atlanta Falcons.
the man himself.
So this is not just a collection of rich people buying toys. There is a very deliberate strategy here, isn't there? Designating these 6 teams to major markets: LA, Boston, New York, Atlanta.
Right, and Jupiter as a high-profile Florida golf hub and the Bay Area.
That regional alignment is the core of the franchise model,
It is. They are actively trying to cultivate local fan connections, enhance that loyalty.
which is different from traditional golf.
Very different. Traditional golf is often player-centric. You root for a specific person.
Yeah, I root for Rory or Tiger.
TGL is trying to establish a geographical team allegiance. It makes it easier for casual fans to engage. You're rooting for the Boston team, leveraging that existing loyalty that Fenway Sports Group has already built.
It makes the league feel more like a traditional American sport product.
And the investor list, it goes far beyond just the core ownership groups. The sources mention this massive, diverse group of other investors. Why is that breadth so crucial?
Well, it signals broad, cross-sport, and entertainment community confidence.
Right. In the long-term, scalable model.
We are talking about initial investors ranging from NBA champions like Shaq and Kevin Durant,
Lewis Hamilton from Formula One.
baseball figures like Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, even entertainers like Justin Timberlake.
So when you have that kind of diversified A-list endorsement, what does that tell potential media buyers and sponsors?
It tells them that TGL is perceived as a blue-chip sports asset. It's insulated from failure by a network of massive capital and brand influence.
A very powerful position to be in.
All right, let's pivot now to the engine room of this whole operation, the SoFi Center.
Yes.
This is not a rented convention hall. This is a purpose-built, climate-controlled indoor coliseum, and its very existence is the guarantee of TGL's core promise.
It is the single point of failure and success for the league. I mean, that's where it all lives or dies.
It's located on the campus of Palm Beach State College in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida.
And that custom-built indoor nature of the facility, that guarantees weather independence?
Right. In traditional golf, rain delays, wind, low light, they can just wreak havoc on broadcast schedules.
The SoFi Center completely eliminates that unpredictability.
And that reliability was tested almost fatally before a single ball was even struck in competition.
Yes, we have to talk about that.
The 2023 setback, the dome collapse.
It was a gut punch moment for the league's credibility right out of the gate.
So what happened?
On November 14, 2023, while it's still under construction, a temporary power failure and then a backup system failure caused the facility's initial air-supported dome section to just deflate dramatically. The structure suffered significant damage.
And this was a critical operational failure that instantly jeopardized the entire 2024 launch plan.
The whole thing.
So what was the strategic response? Because, rushing the launch after that would have been a disaster.
They made the hard choice, but ultimately the necessary choice. The strategic delay.
They pushed everything back.
Immediately postponed the planned 2024 launch to January 2025. And this wasn't just a schedule adjustment, it triggered a fundamental structural redesign.
How so?
They moved away entirely from the air-supported dome, the component that failed, and transitioned to a permanent, traditional steel roof structure.
So they prioritized structural integrity and operational readiness over speed to market.
Exactly. It must have cost an enormous amount of money.
And forced them to absorb a big public relations setback. Yet Tiger Woods publicly called the delay a blessing in disguise.
He did.
How can a multi-million-dollar collapse be a blessing?
It's the ultimate narrative pivot, isn't it? Woods argued the delay gave them the time they needed to refine the technology, optimize the fan experience, and just ensure everything was absolutely perfect.
It let them reinforce their commitment to quality.
The blessing was that the failure happened before they launched.
Wow.
It forced them to build a more robust, permanent structure, that steel roof, and that hardened their operational resilience for the future.
It proved to all the stakeholders that TGL prioritized product quality above everything else.
And this all loops back to the media value proposition. Why is that indoor, weather-independent environment so critical to their entire business model?
It guarantees the 2-hour window.
That's it. This is what media partners like ESPN value above all else for primetime scheduling.
Because when you guarantee that a competitive, high-quality sports broadcast will start at 7 p.m. and end promptly at 9 p.m.,
it makes that airtime infinitely more valuable than a traditional event that could be delayed by 4 hours because of a thunderstorm.
TGL sells consistency and predictability.
And the SoFi Center is the physical manifestation of that promise.
Okay, now let's get into the actual experience for the players. This isn't just one big simulator screen.
No, not at all.
The beauty of TGL is this hybrid format, splitting play between the virtual long game and the physical short game. Let's start with the big technology, the screen zone.
Right, so the screen zone is used for all the full swings, drives, long irons, approaches up to about 50 yards from the pin.
And players are hitting into the screen, a mammoth simulator surface that's, 64 feet wide by 53 feet high?
It is. And it's not just a projection screen. It's designed to provide this cinematic, immersive backdrop, and it has these massive LED wings flanking it, ensuring the broadcast always has a stunning visual frame.
And the players, they're not just hitting off the same piece of AstroTurf every time. The sources detail these customized shot boxes.
Yes, and that's a critical element for maintaining competitive integrity.
So what are these shot boxes?
They are the actual hitting zones, and they offer 3 distinct real-world playing surfaces. You've got cropped grass, which mimics a tight fairway or a tee box. You have tall grass to replicate the resistance and grab of the rough. And you have sand for bunker shots.
And these surfaces are positioned, 20 to 35 yards from the screen?
About that, yeah. And the physics of the club hitting the ball on these varied materials is instantly measured by high-speed cameras and radar systems all around the hitting area.
Which translates that real physical impact into the virtual ball flight on the screen.
Instantly.
So once the shot is executed and the ball flight is simulated, the play transitions when the shot lands within about 50 yards of the hole.
Correct.
And this is where we leave the virtual world and enter the physical, the green zone.
And this is where the engineering truly shines. The green zone is a physical short game complex built from synthetic turf, dedicated to chips, pitches, and putts.
It's fully dynamic.
It is. It operates on a massive turntable mechanism, allowing the entire green to rotate 360 degrees.
And the contours underneath the surface can change on demand. How did that happen? I heard they used hundreds of actuators.
Yes. For Season 2, the system incorporated 608 motorized actuators beneath the synthetic turf.
608.
Think of these actuators as miniature hydraulic lifts. A central computer system dictates the topography of the course the players are virtually on. And these 608 lifts simultaneously move up and down to create slopes, undulations, ridges, and valleys, replicating real course conditions with remarkable fidelity.
So the players hit their simulated approach shot, and while the ball is flying virtually, the entire physical green is actually moving to match the virtual landing zone's specific conditions.
Precisely.
Like a fast downhill chip or a steep uphill putt.
It's a perfectly choreographed transition. The system can adjust the contours to create slopes up to 5 degrees, which is more than enough to replicate really challenging breaking putts and uneven lies you'd find on a traditional course.
And what about bunkers around the green?
There are real sand bunkers positioned right next to the green, ensuring that bunker play, even a short explosion shot, involves the tactile feel of actual sand, not just a simulation.
Okay, so to really understand the challenge the green zone presents, we need to talk about its size. Traditional golf greens vary dramatically, but the TGL green is a fixed target.
Right, and it relies on that slope manipulation for its difficulty, and it's actually been through a strategic evolution.
How so?
The inaugural Season 1 green was 3,818 square feet,
Okay.
but based on player feedback and a desire to better replicate PGA Tour targets, they renovated it for Season 2. They increased the size by a dramatic 38%.
Wow, to what?
To 5,270 square feet.
And why that specific increase?
Well, that size brings it much, much closer to the PGA Tour average, which typically sits around 5,701 square feet.
So even though it's still a little smaller than average,
Okay.
it's now considered a legitimate large-scale target for an elite golfer.
They're signaling to everyone, the audience and the players, that this is not mini golf. This is a serious challenge.
Can you put that size, 5,270 square feet, into perspective for us? How does it compare to some of the most famous, difficult targets in golf?
Yeah, it's bigger than some legends and tiny compared to others.
Like what?
For instance, the TGL green is significantly larger than TPC Sawgrass. Number 17, the iconic Island green, which is only 3,912 square feet.
So it's a bigger target than that.
It also absolutely dwarfs the famous postage stamp, the 16th hole at Royal Troon. That legendary par 3 green measures a tiny 2,635 square feet.
So hitting the TGL green is easier than Sawgrass 17 in terms of just pure size.
Yes, but the challenge lies in the dynamic contours those actuators create.
But if we look at the absolute behemoths of golf, TGL is still very compact.
Oh, without a doubt. Compare TGL's 5,270 square feet to the 18th green at the Old Course at St. Andrews.
Which is known for its incredible scale.
That green measures an unbelievable 15,570 square feet.
Wow.
You could fit nearly 3 TGL greens inside the 18th at the Old Course. The TGL environment is all about precision, control, and those immediate contour changes.
Which brings us to the core question of competitive integrity. Did the technology accurately translate a professional golf swing?
That's the million-dollar question. Skeptics would argue that hitting a ball into a screen indoors just makes it easier. Did the performance metrics actually bear that out?
The data strongly validates the technology, and in a really surprising way.
Okay.
We looked at performance metrics from Season 1, specifically focusing on mid-iron accuracy.
Right.
The average proximity to the hole from 100 to 125 yards in TGL was 18.42 feet.
18.42 feet. Now let's compare that to the PGA Tour average in 2024 from that same distance.
That average was 20.25 feet.
Wait a minute. If the TGL environment resulted in a proximity of 18.42 feet, which is closer to the pin than the PGA Tour average of 20.25 feet, doesn't that suggest the indoor environment is easier?
And that's the critical insight we need to unpack. It seems counterintuitive, but it actually validates the technology while highlighting the absence of external variables.
Yo, what's the difference?
The difference about 1.8 feet closer is likely due to the elimination of one thing: weather. There is zero wind, zero temperature variability, perfect light consistency. When you remove those atmospheric variables, elite players hitting off a perfectly level shot box surface
Can achieve marginally higher precision than they can ever guarantee outdoors.
That's it. So the technology is accurate in translating the swing, but the environmental control allows the best players in the world to be even more precise.
So it validates that the technology maintains elite swing dynamics, while the venue itself, the climate control, is the true disruptive element.
Exactly. That small statistical difference proves that TGL is still highly challenging while delivering on its core promise of environmental consistency.
All right, so let's get into the inaugural 2025 season itself. It was a major test of the format, running from early January to late March.
Strategically scheduled for prime time Monday and Tuesday nights.
And it consisted of 15 regular season matches. Let's look at the structure that ensures that 2-hour limit.
The 15-hole match structure is just a masterclass in pacing. It's divided into 2 key segments.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first 9 holes are the triple segment.
Cripples. So that uses an alternate shot format, with 3 players from each team participating. How does that alternate shot work in a team setting like this?
It's very high pressure. 3 players from Team A are paired against 3 from Team B, and the designated pairs take turns hitting the ball.
So player A1 hits the tee shot, A2 hits the approach, A3 putts.
And then A1 starts the next hole. It demands coordination, and it really eliminates individual heroics over the collective team effort for those first 9 holes.
Then you transition to the singles segment for the final 6 holes, 10 through 15.
And this is where the match often pivots. In singles, you move to individual head-to-head play.
So each team fields 3 players, and each player plays 2 holes against a designated opponent.
Correct. For instance, player A1 might play holes 10 and 13 against player B1, and so on. It ensures every player on the roster gets a high-stakes individual moment in the back half of the match.
The scoring is pure match play, right?
Yeah.
1 point for winning a hole, 0 for a tie.
Yes, but there's a crucial detail for the season standings.
Which is?
For season tiebreaker purposes, all 15 holes are played, regardless of whether a team has mathematically clinched the match victory early.
So the total number of holes won throughout the season is the main tiebreaker.
Exactly, and that detail encourages teams to maintain intensity even in a blowout match, ensuring every point matters for that final playoff race.
And to maintain that pace, TGL didn't just borrow rules. They created tools specifically designed to force quick decision-making. The most straightforward is the shot clock.
The shot clock is absolutely non-negotiable for the 2-hour format. Players have just 40 seconds to execute their shot.
That's based on USGA recommendations for quick play.
It is, and the penalty for failure is severe. A 1-stroke penalty assessed immediately. It adds a layer of mental pressure that traditional golf, with its leisurely pace, just doesn't have.
But the rule that generated the most mid-season drama and really revealed the league's ability to adapt was the hammer rule.
Oh yeah, this one has a great narrative attached to it. It's a brilliant tactical innovation.
How does it work?
A team can throw the hammer. Visually, it's a gold towel graphic on the screen to designate one hole as being worth 2 points instead of 1.
And if they throw it before the hole starts, the other team has to accept it.
Yes, it becomes a double-weighted hole.
So where did the loophole come in during the early weeks of the season?
The initial rule was, well, it was flawed. It limited each match to only 1 hammer, which the teams would trade possession of.
Okay, see where this is going.
The loophole emerged instantly. If you were the leading team late in the match, you could simply...
And mauled onto it.
You just hoard it, exactly. By not using the hammer, you prevent the trailing team from ever gaining possession of it and using it to score 2 points.
So you neutralized their best chance for a comeback.
It was brilliant strategy, but it completely undermined the rule's intended purpose, which was to enable those late match upsets.
So how did the league fix this critical competitive imbalance mid-season?
This is where they showed remarkable administrative agility. Starting on February 17, they modified the rule.
What was the change?
Instead of 1 shared hammer, each team was given 3 hammers to spend at their discretion during the match, though only 1 per hole.
Ah, so that immediately leveled the playing field.
It did. It ensured that the trailing team always had genuine strategic leverage to throw down a double-point challenge and force parity. It made the last few holes truly unpredictable.
It proved the league was listening and prioritizing competitive fairness.
Absolutely.
And if that drama isn't enough, ties after 15 holes are resolved instantly in a sudden death overtime.
Yes, and the overtime is a high-pressure, rapid resolution process. They call it a soccer-style shootout.
So what do?
Teams alternate shots into the green zone, targeting the pin. The tension builds really quickly because the goal is very specific. Be the first team to successfully record the 2 closest shots to the pin.
And that's it. You win the match.
And it's a quick, nerve-wracking finish that guarantees the match stays within that strict 2-hour window.
Okay, let's review the successful conclusion of that first season. The regular season finished with 4 strong teams qualifying for the playoffs.
Right, so Los Angeles Golf Club, LAGC, finished on top of the standings. Impressive 401 record, giving them 9 points.
And they secured the top seed because of the tiebreaker, right? The holes won.
Exactly. They had 27 total holes won. They were neck and neck with the Bay Golf Club and Atlanta Drive GC, who both finished with 8 points.
So those holes won really matter.
Oh, they were critical. And the final playoff spot went to New York Golf Club.
And the postseason delivered some classic Cinderella drama right away.
It really did. The semifinals were single elimination. In semifinal, #1, the number 4 seed, New York Golf Club, pulled off a major upset.
They beat the number 1 seed, Los Angeles.
Defeated the regular season champion, 6-4. It was a huge shock. Then in the other semi, the number 3 seed, Atlanta Drive GC, made their statement, defeating the Bay Golf Club pretty decisively, 9-3.
So the SoFi Cup Finals was a best-of-3 series between New York and Atlanta. Who were the core champions on that Atlanta team?
Atlanta Drive GC had a formidable roster. I mean, major winners, elite players. Patrick Cantlay, Lucas Glover, Billy Horschel, and Justin Thomas.
That's a stacked team.
And they proved to be too strong for the underdog New York team in the finals. Atlanta won in 2 straight matches, sweeping the series.
So Atlanta Drive GC was crowned the first TGL champion.
The first ever. And it really validated the championship caliber of the format and the technology.
And that competitive success was mirrored by media success on opening night, right?
Yeah.
Core goal was to attract a large, younger audience.
And that was the key proof of concept. The very first match, the Bay GC over NYGC 9-2 drew nearly 1 million viewers.
Which for a debut league is huge.
It's massive. And more importantly, the data confirmed that the audience demographic for the TGL broadcast was younger than the typical audience for traditional major golf tournaments.
So the short-form, high-tech, primetime format successfully captured the exact modern media audience the founders had targeted.
Mission accomplished on that front.
All right, TGL successfully navigated its inaugural season, demonstrating operational and competitive resilience.
Yes.
However, we can't ignore the major strategic vulnerability that hangs over the league.
What's that?
Its reliance on PGA Tour talent and the constant gravitational pull of the Levy golf circuit.
The league's stability is, well, it's inextricably linked to the stability of the traditional professional golf ecosystem.
Because TGL is in partnership with the PGA Tour, it's structurally reliant on maintaining the allegiance of those elite players.
And when that ecosystem fractures, TGL is immediately exposed to player loss. It creates roster volatility.
And we saw this play out with some high-profile defections right before the launch. This must have created serious organizational anxiety.
It created massive, immediate roster chaos. John Rahm, a global superstar, announced he was withdrawing from TGL in November 2023.
And shortly after, he made his move to Leva Golf.
Then, Tyrrell Hatton followed suit, negotiating his TGL exit in January 2024, just before he also joined LIV.
So a commitment to TGL became functionally a commitment to the PGA Tour structure.
It did. And these were not minor changes. These were flagship players leaving the league's early marketing materials.
But TGL showed remarkable roster resilience. They quickly secured replacements and successfully retained their core talent like Cantlay and Thomas. How'd they pivot?
Their replacement strategy was critical. The immediate challenge was replacing Hatton, which they did in June 2024 with Hideki Matsuyama.
Which is a huge get.
A huge get. And that move ensured that the roster maintained a strong international flavor and high caliber. It demonstrated to fans and sponsors that TGL could absorb these high-profile losses and still deliver a premium product.
This leads to a fascinating strategic question. What is TGL's future recruitment stance? Are they maintaining that PGA Tour firewall, or are they looking to position themselves as a neutral entity?
The sources indicate a significant strategic shift towards neutrality. TGL has reported expressing interest in recruiting high-profile players who are currently affiliated with Livy Golf.
Specifically naming people like Rahm, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau.
All of them.
That is a fascinating strategic maneuver. It challenges the assumption that TGL is just a PGA Tour subsidiary.
It does. It signals TGL's pragmatic approach to talent acquisition. They recognize that the professional golf ecosystem is still volatile.
So by signaling openness to talent, regardless of their primary tour allegiance,
TGL positions itself to become a high-value asset if and when the fractured professional golf landscape eventually consolidates.
So TGL, with its hybrid, short-form, non-conflicting format, could actually become the ideal vehicle for players who want to maintain their commitment to traditional golf, but also seek the higher pushes from Levy.
Precisely. Its primetime schedule and 2-hour format means it doesn't conflict temporally with the traditional 4-day tournament format.
Right.
If the tours ever merge or come to a working agreement, TGL is perfectly positioned to offer the combined pool of elite players year-round visibility in major markets.
Which is highly attractive to both players and sponsors.
So they're playing a political balancing act, really, positioning themselves as talent agnostic for the future.
And TGL isn't just reacting to these conflicts. It is actively disrupting the sport by addressing one of golf's oldest challenges, accessibility.
That's right. The league is built on validating the huge cultural shift toward indoor golf and simulators.
And it is a huge shift.
It is. TGL is capitalizing on a massive, proven market shift. According to the National Golf Foundation, something like 6.2 million Americans use simulators in the past year.
6.2 million.
And that is a staggering 73% increase compared to pre-pandemic levels. The game is rapidly moving indoors, and TGL is the first elite professional league to fully embrace that.
And this cultural shift creates a unique value proposition for the fans that traditional golf just cannot match.
It's interactive replication.
What do you mean by that?
TGL allows fans to replicate the exact competitive environment and shots made by the pros during the TGL matches, but at their local simulators.
Ah, so you can play the virtual TGL course, experience the dynamic green conditions.
And try to match the pros' scores. You can't go to your local course and replicate the 18th hole at Pebble Beach, but you can replicate a Justin Thomas drive at the SoFi Center.
That direct connection dramatically increases fan engagement.
It really does.
There's also a compelling sustainability focus here that appeals strongly to modern, purpose-driven investors and fans.
This is a huge and often overlooked advantage. By operating entirely indoors, TGL eliminates the massive resource consumption tied to traditional outdoor courses.
All the water, the land use, fertilizers, pesticides.
All of it. TGL's smaller physical footprint and indoor nature aligns perfectly with modern environmental priorities.
And this allows the league to attract purpose-driven sponsors.
Exactly. Sponsors who are looking to align their brands with a demonstrable commitment to a greener future for sport.
And the financial confidence in this sustainable, scalable model is evidenced by their expansion plans, even after just one season.
Absolutely. The inaugural success confirmed the league's confidence in its blueprint. TGL has already confirmed an expansion team, the Motor City Golf Club, based in Detroit.
And they're scheduled to launch in 2027.
So they aren't just surviving. They are actively planning to scale their footprint across major metropolitan areas, further cementing that regional loyalty strategy we talked about.
We've talked about the architecture and the strategy, but what about the atmosphere? For the nearly 1,500 fans who managed to get tickets to the SoFi Center, what was the experience like live?
It is the complete antithesis of the typical hushed golf gallery.
So it's loud.
It's loud. The facility seats nearly 1,500 fans in this compact theater-style layout. You have incredible proximity to the players. They are mere feet away from the action.
It's engineered to feel more like a basketball or a hockey game.
Totally. We're talking about music pumping from an in-venue DJ, dynamic lighting, and fans seated greenside. It creates this thrilling, loud Coliseum environment designed to amplify the emotion of every shot.
And that energy was carried over to the broadcast. TGL secured a key multi-year deal with ESPN.
Airing on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN+, that partnership was crucial for legitimacy.
The broadcast team was anchored by Scott Van Pelt as host and Matt Berry on play-by-play.
Which immediately brought gravitas. But the unique element was the unparalleled player access they provided. They used live mic commentary from both the players and their caddies throughout the entire match.
And giving viewers that raw, unfiltered, candid access to strategy and frustration, that must be a huge audience draw.
It is, because traditional golf broadcasts often have players speaking in these muted tones. Here, you get the actual emotion, the conversations between player and caddy.
And they had players from other teams like Woods and McIlroy providing analysis live during the matches.
Offering instant expert insight into the shots being executed. That level of intimacy is a massive differentiator.
And the technology used to capture all this was award-winning.
It was. The sources highlight that the technology was recognized for its innovation. Specifically, the Smart Pin Cam used during the broadcast received an award for Best Digital Innovation.
And what did the Smart Pin Cam do?
It provided these unique, granular views of the physical green action, maximizing the drama of the dynamic contours and the putt breaks. TGL is using technology not just to run the game, but to aggressively enhance the viewing experience.
Finally, for the fans who attended, the experience extended beyond just this 2-hour match itself. What kinds of amenities were available?
They created a full fan plaza pre-match area.
Right.
So fans could step into the Best Buy hologram zone for virtual meet and greets, test their own swing in the Drive Box mobile simulator,
Cool.
and engage with the match digitally via the TGL app using the Match Predictor Live to compete for prizes.
So they understood that the 2-hour event needed to be surrounded by a comprehensive, engaging fan experience.
Turning a short sporting event into a major social occasion.
This has been an extensive look into the inaugural 2025 TGL season. So to summarize, the league successfully delivered on its core promise. It established a definitive proof of concept.
Absolutely. TGL navigated massive early operational hurdles. That dome collapse was a huge test. But they emerged with a structurally sound, technologically validated hybrid format.
They proved their ability to attract and retain a massive ecosystem of financial capital and top-tier talent.
And they successfully executed a championship-caliber season within that crucial, consistent 2-hour window. The product is executable, it's viable.
They successfully fused that high-tech simulation with live physical action in a primetime slot, offering the media world a guaranteed, consistent entertainment product.
That traditional weather-dependent golf often struggles to deliver. The SoFi Center is the ultimate guarantor of their media deal.
But here's where the tension really lies. TGL's entire financial and media model rests on its ability to create that hyper-controlled, predictable entertainment product.
Right.
Yet, it must draw its essential talent, the elite players, from the professional golf landscape, which is anything but predictable.
And that landscape remains highly volatile and fractured, as we saw with the roster shifts with Rahm and Hatton.
And that raises the final provocative thought we want to leave you with today.
Okay.
TGL validated its technological and operational consistency. But how will TGL maintain the value of its consistent product if the ecosystem of elite player allegiance remains fractured, forcing continuous high-profile roster shifts?
It's a great question.
Can the strength and reliability of the technology and format ultimately outweigh the volatility of the star talent pool in the eyes of the consumer and the sponsor?
That is the strategic challenge facing TGL as it moves toward expansion in 2027. A fascinating test case for modern sports business.
Will engineered reliability trump natural chaos?
We'll be watching closely.
Thanks for diving deep with us today.